Hello everyone. We are here today with Eunju. She's an artist. So let's check her out.
Hi, my name is Eunju Park. I'm an Hanji artist based in St. Albert, Alberta. Hanji is Korean traditional paper that is made of inner bark of mulberry trees, and it can last more than 1,000 years. And I create pieces with Hanji, and I also use Korean letters, and they all have positive messages in it.
So beautiful. What got you into art?
So it's a long story.
We got time.
So 8 years ago, I lost my dad to suicide, and I was struggling with depression. And one of my friends asked me if I knew of BTS. Do you know BTS? The Korean boy band?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
So I don't listen to K-pop. I've heard of them, but I didn't really know about them. So like I said, I don't know them. And my friend was upset that like, you're Korean, you have to listen to them. So I looked them up and I fell in love with them, not only because they're handsome and they can dance and sing. Their songs are all about love yourself and you're enough. It's okay. And it was all about positive messages. And the songs gave me solace, and I was like, okay, I believe that I have an excuse to be depressed, but I didn't want to live like my life like that. So and they are always asking, what is your dream in their songs? And they were only teenagers when they wrote those songs, and look at them, they're on top of the world. And I'm like, okay, I don't even know what I like to do, let alone what my dream was, right? So I wanted to look for what I like to do. And I remembered when my kids were young, we would do art at home, and I would keep drawing, keep painting long after my kids were done, and it was fun. So like, maybe I like painting. So I started. I discovered paint by numbers then. So I bought a big piece. It's in the bathroom, big piece, and I did it like 1 or 2 hours after my kids went down at night, and I finished it after like 4 months. And I was really proud when I finished the piece because, like, even though it's paint by numbers, I did it and it looked beautiful. So I was, I like painting. I want to keep painting. And I have lived in St. Albert for over a decade, and where like 90% people are Caucasian. So I was losing my connection to my heritage. And BTS is always showing Korean culture. They're wearing Korean clothing in front of the old Korean palace, and they're showing Korean dancing, and all of these just reminded me that, like, yeah, look at this beautiful culture I had. Like, I am a proud Korean. I want to do something Korean. So I started bringing the Korean traditional paper from Korea. And I always liked this Hanji paper. And even when I first moved here, I brought some Hanji paper and I put it on the wall of our office, and people really complimented it on it. So I really like this paper. So I started I started drawing the simplest flowers you can find, because I never drawn before. And I always said I'm not creative, but I can copy. So I started drawing the simplest flower on Hanji, and because Hanji is really colorful, it popped, and I like them. So I kept drawing and drawing, and when I'm listening to BTS, they're always saying, these positive messages. And I was thinking, I realized that like these positive messages changed my life. At least I'm not as depressed. I know what I like to do. So I want to put the positive messages in my art. And I always find like Korean letters to be very aesthetic, and it's simple and aesthetic. So I wanted to just rip the paper and then put it on the canvas and make a piece with messages, and that's how I started.
Wow. And you've come so far since then.
Very far.
Yeah, but when did you start this?
So that was almost 4 years ago. Yeah.
Wow. That's
So
cool.
so as I was like learning about this paper, a lot of Korean people even consider this paper as an old tradition, because this paper has been around since the 3rd century. And we use this paper for like window coverings and wallpaper and like art, obviously, calligraphy, and like everything. We made furniture, we made even armor with this paper too.
Wow.
So we used to use this paper a lot long time ago, but as time goes by, we have now glass for the window and everything else to replace this paper. So people don't use this paper anymore, and all of these like skilled masters, they're getting old, and younger generations don't want to learn this skill to make this paper because it's a hard work. So I've learned that like this industry is going down, and I'm like, no, this paper is just an amazing paper that I have to let people know. So I was like, I just applied for White Art Walk, and I went out there just thinking that I'm gonna show people what Hanji is. And I participated in the art walk, and I pretty much showed a lot of people, like I showed a lot of people what Hanji was, and I pretty much sold everything I've made since I studied art for a year and a half like ago. So I was like, what, people love my art?
You're like, oh, this is like really good.
Yeah. Wow, this is not only me liking my art. And so since then I kept making, and that led me into having like exhibitions and like all different things. And now I host workshops and teach people how to make Hanji art, and it is so fun.
And you said that the paper is made from a mulberry tree's bark, right?
Yeah, in a bark of
In the
mulberry
bark.
trees.
Oh, okay. And so in the workshops that you're leading and teaching, you go through the process of actually making the paper, or
no, I don't know how to make
Okay.
it, because like
Okay.
if it can last more than 1,000
Yeah,
years.
I was like, that's crazy. So it's more so creating art with the paper.
With the paper,
correct?
yeah. So I actually teach Korean letters to the participants, and it takes less than half an hour to teach all the letters, and they can write and they can read, and they decide what word or phrase they wanna put in their art, and then they rip the paper, they pick the papers, and then they rip it and start.
How do you find the workshop experience of like getting to share your art like with other people and like watch them kind of pursue it themselves?
I'm like, my whole goal is like, I want to spread this paper as much as possible. So when participants are like enjoying, like when they're learning Korean letters, they are very surprised how easy it is, because it's very phonetic and it's very simple. So they are very happy with like they are actually learning a language at an art workshop too. So they are really happy, and then they start making it, and they feel the texture, and they don't expect anything. They don't know what to expect when they actually come to my workshop, but like when they're actually making the pieces, they're so excited, and they all tell me that like they didn't think it would be this therapeutic, and like they enjoy it so much. And some people just comes back to the next workshop too, because they enjoy it so much. So I'm really happy that I get to spread my culture this way. That I didn't, when I started it, I didn't intend to do like, oh, I'm gonna spread my culture, right? But now I am doing it, and I am like, every time I do workshops, I get so happy and excited after, and like my adrenaline is pumping up. Yeah, so I'm really, really happy.
How was the experience accidentally, like kind of stumbling to reconnect with your culture? Because I'm assuming that it used to be like a very prevalent part of your life. And then, you know, you said living in St. Albert for a while, you kind of like lose touch. So what was it like coming back?
Coming back to my culture,
Yeah.
it actually, like, my husband is Caucasian too, so I'm actually teaching my kids part of my culture that I didn't really emphasize on. Like, I would speak Korean to them, but it is hard to raise the mixed racial kids teaching my language, because I'm the only one who's speaking in the house too. And like, I didn't have a lot of things to a lot of like Korean culture to teach my kids, but at least while I'm doing my art, they know what Hanji is. They've worked with it, they've played with it, and they know Korean too. So I am really glad that I studied this and sharing culture with my kids too.
Yeah, and kind of embedding that for them to then possibly pursue, like moving forward.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite piece that you've created?
Oh, I have many.
Good.
A lot of times, like, when I finish my pieces, I'm like, oh, I'm proud of myself. Like, I did it. Like, right? So I have lots of favorite pieces, and this one is a very recent one. I created this right after I was diagnosed with leukemia. It's almost 2 months ago, I can't believe. So this piece is saying radical acceptance. Do you know what radical acceptance means?
Yes. Like having to accept something, like accepting absolutely everything regardless of what it is.
Yes, exactly. Okay. So when I was struggling with my like depression with my dad, I've learned that, like, okay, I just gotta accept the fact that this happened. I can't change what happened, right? So I think I've wasted enough time depressed. So I realized that, okay, when I was diagnosed with leukemia, it was a shocking news, and but I was sad at the beginning, of course, but I learned a lesson that I just accept your reality. It's your new reality that you have to deal with. And luckily, I can just take pills, and I don't have to go through a harsh chemo or anything. So it's really great that I can just manage my levels and have a normal life with pills. So when I was making this piece, I've made a lot of radical acceptance piece, but when I made this piece, I was feeling that, oh, I hope a lot of people, I know a lot of people struggle with depressions, or there are so many people with cancer, or like a lot of diseases, right? Like, they all go through something hard, but I hope they learn to accept what it is and find peace in their heart. So
That's very beautiful. And I think it's very empowering and inspirational that you're able to come back from, you know, those hardships and kind of take the, I don't know what the saying is, but like, you know, oh, I'm trying, like, take the reins, like hypothetically, like of the horse, you know, and kind of like keep moving forward.
Yeah.
Because your art inspires people, so it will continue to inspire people along with the stories that you have to share, which is amazing.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Since first starting, you know, at that initial art walk that you had done to now, how would you say your art has changed?
Oh, it has evolved because I've been doing it like nonstop, and I can even see like how far I grew as an artist. Like when I first started, it looked very, very simple, and it didn't look as abstract, but I love abstract, so like it's more abstract. And sometimes like, oh, I find I want to be more like obvious letters, then I can make obvious letter looking pieces, and it's all my art. So it's fun to create whatever comes to my mind and just express on canvas.
What inspires your art?
A lot of things now. Like I constantly think about what I want to put in my art, what word or phrase. And a lot of times it's to myself. Like, okay, what word do I want to listen to? And sometimes I make like I believe in myself, or courage, or belief, or like love yourself. And all those words are for myself, but eventually it's for everybody. Everybody needs those kind of messages. So I think that's why people relate to my art, because these positive messages we all need, but we don't get to hear too many times. So I like when I'm making pieces, I'm constantly reminded of this phrase, right? And I think that makes my mental health better too, because I'm always thinking something positive, and like, okay, what I want people to feel through this piece as well. So
Yeah, and I totally see the connection that people would have to it, especially in today's like day and age in society where it's a lot of like technology and you know you can hear good things, but sometimes folks have a hard time like not focusing on negative comments. And so the constant like positive self-talk is so important.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Cool. Sorry. Where do you hope to see yourself in, say, is that a clock?
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. That is so cool. I just noticed that. There's a clock with her art. So crazy cool. So you can make all sorts of things then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to make a clock, and I want to actually make a lamp, not lamp,
Like a lampshade?
Lampshade as well, but like even something like this, because Hanji is transparent too. It lets through the light, and it can control the humidity, and it can control the temperature as well. So if you actually, I will show you later, if you go over, you can let the light in. So I want to have like a piece like that, and maybe put the lights behind. So during the day it's just a piece, and night it can be just a light in the house. Like
that is so cool. This is wow. What can't you do? Like what? This is
see
for you.
I didn't believe that I was creative right before, and once I believed myself, and once I loved myself, and I start doing it, I discovered this creativity. And I believe this is not only me. A lot of people don't know what they can do because they don't even try. And I was 40 when I first studied art, and I like telling my story, because like anybody can try something and discover something, right? And I hear, I know it sounds bragging, but like I hear your story is inspiring, because yes, I didn't have to look for what I like to do, and I could have just lived the depressed life for the rest of my life, but I decided not to, and I came out of it, and now I I am having the best life of my
Yeah.
So
And then last question. It doesn't have to be specific to your art, but what would you say is the best piece of advice you've received throughout your life?
oh, actually, it is the same as this piece, like radical acceptance. That was I learned that term. I didn't know that term existed until I hosted workshop one day, and this lady wanted to make a piece with radical acceptance, and I've never heard this before. And I asked what it meant, and she was going through some hardships, and she was explaining that she's seeing the psychologist, and the psychologist told her about this term, and she was explaining what it was, and I realized that's what I learned when I was struggling with depression. Like, I didn't know there was a term, but I just accepted what it is, and I accepted myself and started loving myself, right? So I think this word, this radical acceptance, is a really important word for everybody. Yeah. And like from BTS songs, love yourself. That's very important.
Perfect. I love both of those. Thank you.
Thank you. So all of these are Hanji, and there are different kinds. So this one is a little thicker than these ones, right? You can feel.
Oh, yeah.
This is way softer, and it's almost like
Wow.
fabric, right?
Yeah. That's
and
cool.
when you look at it here, it lets the light in as well.
Oh,
So
wow.
like you used to have like white Hanji on the window, so you let the light in. Yeah, and you get the privacy as well. And look at all of these colors are made with natural ingredients, so they don't use chemicals, nothing in it. It's amazing. Look at this color.
This is beautiful.
I know.
That's so cool. Like this one feels like more construction
Yeah.
paper, and then this is like tissue paper, like
Exactly.
literal, like yeah.
So you, like, it's fun to add different ones together, and all these colors are just so beautiful,
vibrant. Yeah.
And some are printed. All of them are all so different, and it's just fun to work with. Look at this white one.
Wow. That's so crazy because it's all like the same kind of paper, but it all feels and
different.
looks so different.
And it rips different too. Yeah.
You probably have so much fun like playing with the variety and the like. Wow.
It's like when I pick colors, I'm like a kid in a candy store.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay,
there's so many options.
Yeah, it's fun.
Do you have a favorite like paper?
I started with this like thin ones because
yeah.
this is like most common one, and then I discovered like, oh, there are thicker ones and they are like more vivid colors, right? So I just play with this, and sometimes like a lot of people like Korean letter ones. These Hanji, yeah, because it's different and it shows the letters as well. So it's just fun to work with. I was an English teacher in Korea, and when I first came here, I'm like, oh wow, that was a useless career. my husband came to Korea to teach English. That's how we met. And he brought me to this winter wonderland. So when I was when I first came here, like, oh, okay, the teaching career is over, and like, okay, that's it. And then now I'm doing art, I'm teaching art in English. So like I'm learning that like everything I go through, it becomes part of me and it shapes who I am now, right? So I can like now confidently teach Korean and teach my art because I had that experience that I thought it was useless once, right? Yeah. So anything you do, it will shine someday when you're older. That one is saying, enjoy this moment. So this piece is the latest one, And this one is saying, I'm the author of my life. And you are the author of your life. And how awesome is that you get to create your own life, how your life goes. It is all about what you decide and how you navigate your life. So that this piece has that message in it. And I got this Hanji from one of my friend's mom, and she actually had this Hanji for over 20 years. And she said, I bought them to use for something, but I never used it. So do you want to use it in your art? I'm like, yes, please.
I would love to. Thank you.
So I'm using the 20-year-old Hanji for that.
That's so cool. How do you hope people feel when they look at your art?
A lot of times, like people come to my art booth and then they don't know these are letters. They just think these are abstract, and they just come into my booth, and I explain these are from paper, Hanji, and they are all Korean letters, and I explain these have all positive messages. And like one day I was explaining my art and I said, oh, this is you're beautiful, you're worthy, and this is I'm the owner of myself. Like I was stating all the titles, and this lady started crying. And I didn't know what to do at first, and I realized that like, oh, she must have going through something hard, or so she was like, I'm sorry, I'm crying, but like I didn't expect to hear all these messages. And at that moment I realized like, oh, my art has power, like that kind of power that can move people's feeling, the emotions. So I want people to, when they look at the piece, I want people to read the titles and then feel what I want to convey in this piece, like what kind of message I want to put in, like, and feel the happiness. That's what I want people to feel. Yeah. And this piece, even though life still goes on and you have to figure out your life, and I'm learning that like life is not all about like roses and rainbows, right? Like we all go through hardships sometimes, and it's inevitable, it's part of life. And you just have to have this gear of, okay, you gotta keep going no matter what. So this piece was, even though you go through something hard, it's what it is, it's the life. So you have to keep going. Yeah. And
some radical acceptance.
A lot of themes are based on radical acceptance, because that's a part of lesson, right? Like part of life. Yeah.
It really is.
This piece is saying love yourself, and this maze starts from the top left and comes out the bottom right. And how long do you think this maze will take
to complete, or how long it took you to complete? A long time.
You assume like it looks daunting.
Yes.
That like, oh, like how do I finish this? It looks very complicated, but start from it and figure out. Once you start it, you realize it is a really easy maze to go through.
Yeah.
It doesn't take long to come out. And a lot of times people, when people hear love yourself, people are like, okay, how do you love yourself? I don't know how to. It seems daunting to find out how to love yourself. But once you start doing it, you can figure out really easily. So the first step is decide to love yourself. That's the message I wanted to put in with this easy maze. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for like sitting and chatting with us and showing us all of your beautiful art. This has been so amazing. Like, thank you for sharing your story with us.
Thank you. I am really, really happy to be interview. And like, I am really grateful. Yeah. Thank you.
Hey everyone, just finished up with Eunju Park. Oh my goodness. Literally, like, you guys don't understand the epitome of like sunshine. Like, if you were to meet Joy from Inside Out, I feel like it's her, because she is so passionate about the work she does and is just so kind and sweet and was just so willing to chat with us and like be so open and vulnerable, and she's just such a cool person. Like, I can't say enough good things.
She is such a fun, interesting person and such a kind person, and like, it's crazy to see how she's been through so much and is going through so much, and she still is so resilient and still has that like go get 'em attitude and is still just happy as always. So she was amazing. Her art's amazing. Like, she is extremely talented.
So talented, and just all the work she does, like, all of it is just so positive self-talk for other people. That's such a big thing for her, of like, she mentioned it in the interview, but it's like people don't realize they can do things because they've never tried, and it's like you can get so trapped in like such a negative mindset, but all you need to do is like find a way to break away from that, and then you can live such a happy life. And she's like, now I live such a happy life, and I'm like, it's really sweet. Okay.
It is.
Check out her work, check out her workshops if you're ever interested. It's literally just ripping paper. That's all you have to do. It's not like you have to be a bachelor of art. I don't know, I was gonna say like a master's degree in art. Like, she says her art is so accessible and she just wants people to try it. So if you're into it,
Check it out.
check it out.